In a world filled with uncertainty, we are all trying to get physically, mentally, and emotionally healthy. But the struggle is real. The LiveWell Podcast exists to give you fun, relevant, and impactful strategies that will help you get healthy, stay healthy, and live well. Hosted by Dr. Mike Roncesvalles, a clinical psychologist with 2 decades of experience in the field, and his LiveWell crew. We promise the time you spend listening to the LiveWell Podcast will help you thrive like you never have before.
And welcome to the LiveWell Podcast. We're really glad you're with us today. This is Dr. Mike Roncesvalles. We've got a great program for you today. Podcast is going to be awesome. We've been talking for about an hour. Getting ready.
We have been. Yeah.
We have. Our 12 o'clock podcast is going off at 1, so that's cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we've got with us the whole LiveWell team today. So Alana Sadu.
Hello.
What's happening? Megan Torkowski.
Hi.
Trevor Hislop.
That's right. It's good to be with you guys today.
So I'm happy because we're talking about something I like to talk about. We're talking about rest and relaxation and rejuvenation. How to chill our brain and our body out. That's the topic for today's podcast. Megan's submission was how to calm your monkey brain, which we
Which we all
brain and
resonate
body.
with, though.
That's right.
We all know what she's talking about.
we did.
The monkey mind. It's the monkey mind.
Oh, the monkey mind. My bad.
Not monkey brains. That's a little. That's like Halloween stuff.
That's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, exactly. I don't know. Monkey mind.
All right. How do we calm our monkey mind? I guess the first question is, what do you guys do to calm your brain and your body down?
Miss Alana Sadu, would you like to go first?
I can tell you what not to do.
Please do tell us.
Answer your text.
I think
Immediately. Answer your text immediately.
detoxing from your phone or computers is like a really good way to instill rest and relaxation in one's life. It's something like that is doable if we are intentional about it. And it, it's like a small thing, but has, great benefits.
So wait, are you talking theoretically? This is what you should do or what you actually do?
That's what people should do.
Correct.
Here we
Because
go.
I don't think that's what you do, Alana.
It's not.
I wonder why though.
I don't know. That's a very good question.
Why don't you?
Because it's really healthy. If you should just
your
put
phone
your
down.
phone down.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
should.
should. If my employer doesn't text me at 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings telling me to avert a crisis. Dr. Mike.
Someone did this to you at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning. They texted you and asked you to work on Sunday.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
so bizarre, right?
Give me the
Who would
name
do
of
that?
that guy.
Wow.
Give me.
Because of HIPAA, I can't disclose.
Well,
Who
for
it
the
is.
record, I think it's completely inappropriate.
Do you?
I will let him know. I'll let my employer know that.
All right. So I did this. For those of you that haven't gotten that message yet, I texted Alana yesterday and asked her to do something for the office, and she did it, and it was awesome.
And that is how to not rest.
Yes. Exactly.
I'll be today's example of,
There we go.
of what
That's
not
right.
to
There
do.
we go. What not to do.
What is resting?
Wait. No,
I know.
Yeah.
Aren't we going with
okay.
what we all do first?
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I went out of character, out of order.
So I got mine. If you think about
You-
yours.
you
there we
go
go.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, first of all, I have to be intentional about resting. It just doesn't come easily for me. So I have to kind of plan for it. So for a long time, I had this pattern where I used to have Fridays off. So I would, on Fridays, I would just go to the beach, and I would just kind of get off the grid. So, from where I live, I would go over to the beach, grab a cup of coffee, and just walk. And so for me, resting is oftentimes getting away. I'm pretty extroverted. I'm around people a lot, but there is something, that introverted part of me that I do find, and I think that's important in this, again, how we get rested and around others or away from others. And so for me, it always has been valuable. Get away, get off the grid, and just spend some time alone.
I do that. I would
like
say that's
that.
what I do when it works.
Yep.
When it works, that's what I do. Like the beach for me,
Yep.
there's something about water that helps me. Like so even the river,
Right.
so if I walk and look at the river or walk and look at the beach, that calms me down. I don't know, there might be some neuroscience to that, but it absolutely does work for me.
There
as well.
actually is.
Yeah.
So I can share some information about that. So part of that is the science of grounding, is like human beings' connection with a natural earth element, like the soil, which is the earth, air, even and water, and sometimes fire. Obviously, not being in fire, but being near, like
The
a
elements.
fireplace, or
Yeah.
being near or connected to the natural elements is a super effective grounding technique. But each person responds differently to each element, so you have to
Right.
know what your element is.
That's good.
Mine's definitely water.
You guys ever seen Avatar?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yep.
it's the best. Just like, can you imagine if we had that kind of a jungle? Oh my gosh.
Megan just did her own angelic choir.
Something. That's
That was
right.
actually impressive. All right, Megan, you're up. What do you do?
Wait, why'd you mention Avatar?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fire.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Lightning
Gotcha.
bugs, like
elements.
all the
I
glowing
see.
things.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the other Avatar, not
Oh.
that Avatar. I'm talking about the
Oh.
dude that like does. Oh, you're talking
talking about the movie.
I'm
blue.
talking about the movie
Like the
when
Disney
like,
film.
like the jungle is like just it's beautiful. Everything like lights up and then there's fireflies and weird dragon things that they ride and it's just really I don't know.
100% not what I was talking about.
Well, you mean
I was talking about the little dude, the guy that controls the wind and the earth and the fire. Okay, anyways,
All right.
it's a cartoon.
Carry on.
I think. So.
okay? Well, then that's why I don't know
Yeah.
about it. I don't watch cartoons.
Thanks for clarifying, Jacob.
All right, so I watched the sunset.
On the
Right
East
over,
Coast.
right over there, actually, across the river. It's one of my favorite spots. And when I was younger, I used to go to our dock in my parents' neighborhood and sit and watch the sunset all the time. And if we're at our parents' house, we still sometimes go, like the siblings and I and family. But that's like a very peaceful place of rest for me, where I kind of just tune everything out and connect with myself and the sun and know that it's time to soothe and decompress. Yeah.
Man, we're a bunch of healthy people.
Sure.
Seriously, everybody but Alana.
Yeah. Well,
Disclaimer, I don't do that every day.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And sometimes, to be fair, you can't see the sunset because there's
Right.
clouds and stuff. So,
Yeah. And we do live on the East Coast.
Yeah.
and we do.
The sunset
Yes.
Is on the
is
west.
on the west. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get up early enough to watch the sunrise.
All right, so
What do you do, Dr. Mike?
I already said the water.
Oh,
Yeah.
the water.
Remember the water?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I do remember.
And you
I te-
enlightened
I-
us with the elements.
Earth, wind, and
But, like-
fire. Wasn't that is that what you were talking about? That's not an Avatar thing.
No, the dude's name is Avatar,
That's
and
his
he
name.
controls
Okay.
wind and like
I'm
earth.
sorry that I went
and
past
water.
this, but I'm still like, that was what was it? Captain Planet, Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Another cartoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I was a child, though.
Earth, Wind, and Fire is a group.
I was
They're
just
a
going to
band
say
from
they're
the
a band.
70s.
Yeah, but it also like it was what you put together as this Captain Planet cartoon when I was a child.
Wait, I thought you didn't watch cartoons.
As a child, not an adult. A child.
There's a lot of criticism
How-
in today's group.
Yeah. Yep.
How have we degraded? Like we literally are.
We're
totally
regressing right
off.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back. We'll go back. We'll do a whole podcast about cartoons. Megan and I will lead it. It will be awesome.
Yeah,
But
okay.
until then, let's talk about Alana, rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation. Those are the things we're aiming for.
Yes.
Especially during this season, right? The pandemic has been difficult.
Yeah.
People are stressed out. Your kids are schooling at home. You're working from home.
Yeah.
Unless-
I think it's
That's a lot.
yeah. And I think like in the beginning of the pandemic when there was the lockdown, the L word, right? Like it's like the curse word. And everything was, closing or closed or working from home or schooling from home. Everyone was like, "Oh, like we get to like kind of
We get to
maybe
take
kind
a
of
break.
take a break." Little did we know that meant working more and
Yeah.
having more struggles with boundaries and having to be more intentional about how we took breaks. Because, I mean, working from home, schooling from home, it's like, well, from the time you wake up in the morning until, the time it's over, it becomes more difficult.
Yeah. And
Just
sometimes people's houses are their safe haven. That's where they go to decompress and get away from it all. And they don't bring work home. It's like a rule in some houses. No longer is the case.
I just think it's so much harder right now, in, 2021 to rest, relax, and rejuvenate. It's just harder, I think, because it requires more intention than before, but even more necessary than it was before. I mean, so many friends of mine have had to cancel their vacations this year and last year, including me. So now it's like, well, does that mean work more? Because we have more time to work. Dr. Mike would say yes.
Dr. Mike would say absolutely.
That's not even true. That's another podcast. We'll get back to that. You like how I deflected there?
I did, and I just said I'm going to stay out of this one, so
probably
that's
a good
good.
idea.
That's right.
Sorry, we are picking on you a lot today. I just realized.
But yeah, I mean, Megan was saying when we were having our conversation before our podcast that one of the things about rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation is all three things demand intention
And mindfulness and awareness. You need to be aware of when you need to rest your body and your mind and find relaxation and then become rejuvenated.
I think the pandemic, the weird thing is where everybody has been at their house more, I think, more than ever. And so while, if you're at your house 3 years ago, there's probably just this idea of, I get to not do anything for a second, right? This is awesome. So it's built in, that intention starts to come on intuitively. But I think the pandemic, everybody's been there, especially the people that don't. We live in Florida, which has been a ton easier. But I have some friends from Portland just a couple weeks ago that were telling me, we have not left our house. So when you haven't left your house for months, a year, I think the boredom starts to set in, and the house is no longer a trigger for rest and relaxation. It's like you're craving something to do.
Something else. I mean, even, and to go outside of the U.S. So, my family back in the Caribbean in Trinidad, for the first year of the pandemic, not only was no one allowed to leave their house, but people were getting fined for having, more than 2 cars in their driveway, for, being outdoors without a mask, for, grocery stores kind of being above 50% maximum. I mean, people were getting fined $1,000 here and there. It's just,
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a little different than Florida.
Yeah,
I
very
was just gonna
different.
say, it's not the same here. And wow.
So can you guys help anybody who's listening or watching understand what we're talking about? Rest, relaxation, rejuvenation. What do those things mean, and how are they related?
So I think they're usually used interchangeably as the same thing, but I actually think they're very different.
I do as well. I agree.
Rest is like pausing. I can't think of any other word except rest is pause.
It's like the yellow light.
Yeah.
You need to pause for a minute and get yourself relaxed.
Yeah. In fact, I had mentioned before the podcast, that's really hard for me.
Yeah.
And you ask the question, is doing nothing actually doing something? Because there's this need to constantly be doing something. Right?
Yeah.
And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Right. Again, with that intentionality.
I think culturally we all have cultural ADHD. I mean, that's sort of part of how we're living.
Yeah.
And I think we avoid the pause button. Right. I think a lot, at least for me, I crave some sort of stimulation, where I just sitting on the back porch while it's super healthy. It just, I don't know. Sometimes I will struggle with it.
Well, it's like culturally, you were talking about it. It's like the fear of lack of productivity means it's like equivalent to failure.
Yeah.
In our culture.
Right.
Yeah, well, even the way we talk about it, like I burned a couple hours, or I lost track of time.
Right.
That's good. Yeah.
These ideas of that they were wasted.
Right.
Yeah.
So my wife is really bad at this. Crystal's like literally on the go, driven by a motor, 24/7. Like she's amazing. Sometimes I just watch her. I'm like, you're just awesome. And she's like, you could help too. I was like, no, this is I'd rather watch because this is like, and she can just work and go. It's staggering. But I think that is part of how we're wiring ourselves culturally.
But the problem is what we're seeing is that's just not sustainable.
Right.
And when I can thank the pandemic for that realization that, hey, this isn't sustainable. I'm not saying I've necessarily done anything about it. I'm just saying I've had that realization. Let me take my steps, people. And
Hey, you're a human, girl.
Now it's like, what does that mean to you guys? It's like, if now that we know that, what does that mean? Does that mean we need to rewire the hard wiring? And I think that's why we're having this conversation today too.
And don't you think the new experience of us practicing these disciplines actually drives more of it in the future, right? So practice makes perfect. So, all right, we got rest, which is pause, relaxation.
This one's my favorite one. So the definition of relaxation is the state of being free from tension and anxiety.
I like it.
The state of being free of tension and anxiety.
Yeah. What's interesting about me, as we talked about this before, is, at least in my experience, it's hard to turn it on and turn it off. Right.
So you have so if you turn your relaxation on, and you're relaxed, it's hard for you to come out of it as well.
The opposite.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to get into it.
Okay.
Because you're on.
Yeah. Right.
Because you're
it's not a switch.
Yeah.
Right. I can't just decide I'm going to go relax now and go sit by the pool.
Right.
Oh, and instantly free of anxiety. It doesn't work that way.
So there's a way to make that happen.
Teach us, oh wise one.
So in yoga, there's a restorative yoga class, and you use props, and the props help they help support you. So you have a bolster, you have a blanket, you have blocks, you have your yoga mat. If you're at home, you have pillows, couch cushions, rolled up towels, and then a blanket, pillows, whatever.
By the way, for viewers and listeners, if this is your first time tuning in, Megan is our certified yoga instructor. She's our in-house master.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know about master, but I'm a yoga teacher. So you use these props to help support your body, so you have no strain, no pain, no tension. You're letting what is beneath you fully support your entire body, and you are relearning how to actively relax your mind and your body, and you find this relaxation emotionally, mentally, and physically. So you start with your breathing. You breathe deeply. You lower your blood pressure. You reduce the stress response. All of those things help to bring you back to homeostasis in your nervous system and take you out of fight or flight. And you're just laying there. Your eyes can be closed. You can have a lavender eye pillow if you have one of those at home or in yoga class. But the deep breathing helps. And anytime you have a thought that's running through your mind, you just focus on your breath again and let the thought occur. Don't look at yourself like you did something wrong. Don't judge it. Don't react to it. Let it happen and let it pass by like clouds in the sky. It's really, it takes a while to practice and learn how to be very mindful and intentional about it, but it is possible to shut our monkey minds off. And it is like, I used to be very fidgety. I still am. I don't know if anybody has seen me, but I've been rolling my fingers in these chords this whole entire podcast so far. So, but when I go into a restorative yoga class, which is one of my favorites to teach and to be a part of, and to practice, I am very intentional about staying still and actively letting my muscles relax and release whatever tension or anxiety has been going on, or just letting go and shutting off the world outside of my mat and just being present in that moment and listening to what's happening inside.
So one thing that I think is really interesting is the connection between that and spirituality. So because there, a lot of people, especially Christians, you know, I'm Christian and that's sort of my world, right? The people I go to church with or whatever. And I've had lots of people that say, well, yoga's bad. You know, you shouldn't do that because you can't clear your mind because then the devil's going to get in it and all, you know, all this kind of stuff. But the truth is that like, that's actually a very spiritual moment. And if someone's listening today, to have a word that drives you spiritually, like peace,
Right?
like there's a
Calm, peace.
yeah, there's a verse in the Bible that says God wants us to have a peace that passes all understanding. Doesn't make sense, like a peace that doesn't even make sense is the way I say it. Like if you're practicing this kind of yoga, which I don't do.
But he has a yoga mat over here.
There we go.
I should try. I should try this.
Yeah.
But if you're practicing, I can see how that experience of the moment, like just me right here, right now, in the presence of a God that's bigger than I am, who's given me peace. Like there's value to that.
Absolutely. And it isn't about religion, and you know, it's more about. When I think of yoga, I think about it is a connection to yourself through yourself. Like you are using this vessel that we have been given to find a state of peace that we should be able to find and are all worthy of having, and just rest and allow yourself to become rejuvenated by doing that. Sometimes restorative yoga, because you're mindfully resting every muscle in your body and you're being supported and you're awake, is almost better than sleeping, because when you're sleeping, you're not in control.
Right.
When you're mindfully resting your body, you are in control of what's happening. You can soften, you can let go, you can breathe, you can turn the thoughts or dreams in your sleep that you can't turn off. You can shut all that off and just listen to your body, listen to your heartbeat, listen to the sounds around you. Let it all be a part of the experience. It doesn't have to be a spiritual thing or a religious thing. It's if you think about it scientifically or biologically, it's healthy for us.
And the only thing I would add to that is it's part of how we're created probably anyways, you know, to have that experience, right?
I mean, what is Sunday?
Yeah.
Day of rest.
Day of rest. All right, so we've got rest, which is pause. We've got relaxation, which is the state of being free of anxiety and tension. And then we've got rejuvenation. And so is this yoga you're talking about part of the rejuvenation, or is it part of the relaxation?
I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like a young little chickie when I just hatched out of an egg when I leave a yoga class.
A young spring chicken.
There we go.
From monkey mind to spring chicken.
Spring chicken, yes.
Got it.
Oh my gosh, and that reminds me of my cousin Chloe. We call each other monkey and chicken. I'm monkey, she's chicken.
That's great, Megan.
I miss her.
Hey, Chloe.
Hey, Chloe, if you're listening.
So
That's hilarious.
we're glad you could have this moment.
I
That's
didn't
great.
even think
There you
about
go.
it until you said from monkey mind to spring chicken.
So you can have rest, you can have relaxation, and you can have rejuvenation. And this yoga is kind of somewhere in between relaxation and rejuvenation. So how do we define rejuvenation?
I'll let you guys do this one. Trevor and Megan.
Trevor had a great...
Well, we
Yeah.
did. So we talked about when you said spring chicken,
Yeah.
right? There's this
Yeah.
idea that it's youthful.
You're
right?
bringing a youthful
Yeah.
spirit back about, or you're finding vigor in something.
That's right.
And to be honest, like doing this with you guys is rejuvenating for me. I don't know
Me too.
about the rest of you, but I come in on Monday mornings and I'm just like, oh, like from just all the things, and it's trying to get caught up over the weekend and all this stuff. And then I come in here and I am literally an entirely different person than I was 5 minutes prior.
Yeah. That's good. So we looked up this word, and I'm kind of a word nerd, right? So we looked it up, and I didn't know. Well, we know that means again, right? And we didn't know this, but we said we just Googled it. Juvenate comes from the same word as juvenile, right? So it is, it's youthful again.
Yeah.
Right?
To be youthful again.
Yeah. Rejuvenate.
Find a pep in your step.
Mm-hmm.
This is very challenging, honestly, because I've read a ton about relaxation, progressive relaxation. I've done some awesome audio downloads.
You have.
Awesome.
Which you can find on our website.
But to kind of think of this as these 3 different subdomains is pretty challenging, because a lot of people can't rest. They can't push pause. If you push pause, sometimes you might stop, but you're still spinning. So you're not truly relaxed, right? You still have anxiety and tension. And if you happen to be able to get to that point of relaxation, how many of us are actually doing things consistently that are rejuvenating, that bring back and restore youthful vigor? Right. I mean, that's pretty challenging.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I don't even know what I would say does that for me. It's awesome, Megan, that the podcast is doing that for you. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, I love the podcast.
But it's not doing
It
that.
doesn't rejuvenate, Dr. Mike.
I mean, I don't know that it. I don't know. Youthful vigors.
And what I mean by that is, I think for me, like, because I'm always in my head so much, having intellectual fun, even I would call this intellectual fun for me, is rejuvenating. It excites me and brings me joy.
Right.
And I feel youthful and excited and all the other things that are happy.
Right. For me, it's I coach soccer, and I used to play soccer, and so it is for me. Rejuvenating is literally playing games.
Yep.
Right. And so I hate board games, but I love sports.
Yeah.
And so to be able to get out and shoot a basketball, kick a soccer ball, throw a
Kicking
football,
a soccer ball,
whatever that is,
again.
there is something youthful about it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And playing a game does that for me.
Volleyball will do that for me. Of a sport, volleyball will bring me right back.
Alana,
I struggle with it.
do you?
I mean, I'm listening to you guys, and I mean, I know what it means. I don't know.
What about art and painting and drawing?
Yeah,
I know that you really love.
That counts, right?
Yeah,
Sure it does.
absolutely.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. So
If it sparks a fire in you.
Yeah, I paint. I paint a lot.
Gardening? Still too new.
Yeah.
Okay.
That does not seem relaxing or rejuvenating. Pulling weeds.
Gardening is intimidating to me.
So
I don't know how Megan does it.
I love it.
She's so good at it too.
Sort of. I'm learning. I have killed a lot of plants, but I'm still in the learning process. But yeah, gardening is also a good one.
I'm trying to
how about
think.
you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Fishing?
Just being out on the boat.
So, probably not fishing on my boat, because when you're the captain of the boat, I'm
It's a lot of
You're
responsibility.
the captain of a lot of boats.
That's true.
This is true, Alana, to do.
Very true.
But
no
that-
wonder this podcast doesn't bring you rejuvenation.
Right.
So when you're fishing, you know what it is more than fishing? Fishing's a no-go, because it's like bait and how fast am I
crazy.
going and where are the fish? What does it is spear fishing.
Ooh.
Spear fishing
Wow.
for me, and Jacob will identify with this, because spear fishing, like, you've got a number, right? So you go to the number on your GPS, you drop anchor or whatever, and then everybody's kind of on their own. And I would say 100%, like when I'm doing that and I'm just swimming around and looking at fish, trying to shoot them. I mean, everybody else shoots them better than me.
Have you ever shot a fish with a spear? Or speared a fish? How do you say that?
Yeah, that's it.
But you have?
I have.
What
I
have
mean,
you
why does
caught?
that make you so surprised? That
I don't know. I don't know. What have you caught?
all kinds of things, like snapper, mangrove snapper, a grouper. I caught a really nice grouper one time.
Cool.
Jacob was there.
Cool.
Nice.
What else? Oh, hogfish. Hogfish are awesome.
Yeah, the Air Force is flying by.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
They actually did I asked them to do a flyover
Oh,
at
did
the
you?
end of the podcast.
That's it.
It's like
Are they going to paratrooper into here? Into the glass windows?
They had to pay extra for that. So
Oh, okay.
I didn't do that for the big finale.
That's right.
So
Lovely.
So that actually connects with me because I think that when I get done with that and we're in the boat and we're kind of headed back, it feels super. I feel young. I feel vibrant. I feel alive.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Oh, I love the word
That's good.
vibrant.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
Yeah, it is.
I think painting. Yeah, I think thank you for helping me.
You're
figure
welcome.
that out, Megan.
And cooking.
Yeah,
When you do, yeah.
I think painting more than cooking.
Okay.
Because sometimes cooking is a lot of work. As much as I love it
Yeah.
and enjoy it,
Yeah.
painting is more like. And the thing with painting for me is, I focus more on the process of painting than the outcome of what the painting is
And
going to
that's
look
what
like.
it should be all about. So that's
Mhm.
good because you're present.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about music?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be for you too,
It
though,
is.
Trevor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For both of you.
That's part of me. It's probably more of that relaxation part.
Yep.
That's that stress and
Same.
tension, anxiety. It's the release of that.
Yeah.
And you and Sam Hunt. He probably rejuvenates you more than relaxes.
Yeah. Break up in a small town.
That's
That'll
it.
rejuvenate you right there.
Yeah. I heard him this morning, and I just thought about. I
Did
was
you?
like, "Yep, on my way to work."
That's good.
He does have some good, just solid lyrics that I don't know, are just funny and laid back,
Free
but real. And
yeah.
That's
just
what
free.
I think.
Carry
Free
an
almost.
easy spirit. Yeah.
He's funny and he's easy.
Yeah,
That's why I like it. And it is rejuvenating. Like that's something that, kind of makes you feel alive.
absolutely.
So guys, this is pretty challenging. I think what we're saying is in order to be healthy, to live our healthiest life, we want to build in all three, right? Like
absolutely.
rest, relaxation,
Right.
rejuvenation.
Yeah, we have to stop thinking of them as the same thing because they're not.
Yeah. In fact, when
Each
somebody
one
gets away,
feeds-
we literally call it R&R.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I need to go get some R&R.
I just wrote that
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Each one feeds into the
great.
other, I think, and plays a huge part into being able to get to the next layer.
Yeah.
Man, what a cool message during the pandemic. I think it's great. If you're listening today and the pandemic has put you in a position where you are not feeling any of these things, we really want to encourage you that, number one, try some of this. Like really commit yourself to settling down and saying, let me try to even schedule some things in my life, in my work day that are going to revolve around rest or relaxation or rejuvenation. You might be surprised. You might if you take 5 minutes a day during your work day and just progressively relax your body, that might play a big part.
Do some exploration too. Like it'll be fun, and be curious about
Absolutely.
how to maybe combat some of that high anxiety that the pandemic has so beautifully instilled in all of us.
Yeah.
We talked about earlier, whether it's for some of you, these 3 R's are getting away from people. For some of you, you've been too far away from people for too long, and the opposite is true. You need to be with people.
Yeah. Yeah, so
And
finding
that's
a way
good.
to connect as well. I know last year in December, I tried something new creatively. I collected a bunch of pine cones from around town and I put them in my oven, and they opened at 200 degrees. They open from being closed from the heat. And then I got this evergreen wax, and I got beeswax wax and soybean wax, and I made candles, and I got little wicks, and I wrapped them around the pine cones, and then I melted the wax and dipped them in, and I made them as little gifts, and it was
Wow.
And
something.
I was lucky enough to receive one.
Are
of
these on
those.
Etsy?
Yes.
Like we can place our order?
I mean, I have some still, I do, and
That's
they
great.
smell
Sure they do.
amazing.
So wait,
you guys
Alana
will
got
all-
one? Oh, is that what? So
It's
Alana
because
got
Megan
one.
doesn't
I
text
did.
her on Sunday morning. I think that's the...
Right.
Unless
and if
it's
I
to
came
say
to you
good
and
morning.
said, Dr. Mike, I have some pine cones for you on a stick, what would you say?
Touche.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got me.
Okay. But it was something new that I tried. I had never played with wax before.
I
I
love
had never done it, but I love nature and I wanted to put them in the fire pit so they smelled amazing.
Cool.
And that was what I did, not this past December, but the December before, right before the pandemic.
That's really good, Megan. That's
So
awesome.
just try something.
Try something new.
Try something.
Yeah.
Try something new. Be curious.
And if-
Explore.
Get your
Yeah.
body moving, right? I mean, we talked before the podcast about how important that is to some of this. So, all right. And finally, as you're exploring and trying new things, we want to let you guys know that we're here for you. Live Well Behavioral Health exists to allow folks just like you to find peace and hope and joy and all the things that you want to live in, including rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation. So,
Yes.
if you need a therapist to speak to, we do virtual therapy, we do in-person therapy. We've got, I think, one of the best teams I've ever seen in regard to a therapeutic team. These guys are amazing. We also have a product that we developed specifically for you. It's called LiveWell Coaching, and LiveWell Coaching is an app-based program on your phone, and you get through that app lots of cool information that's cognitive behavioral in nature that's sent directly to you in a way that's consistent with your felt need, right? So when you start LiveWell Coaching, you'll meet with a coach. That coach virtually will help you develop goals for the program, and then for the next month, 6 months, 1 year, however long it takes, that coach just gives you information every day that helps you live the life that you've always wanted. So it's high tech, like there's a lot of cool stuff that happens within the app, but it's also high touch, meaning there's a real person on the other end of that technology that's there to give you accountability and affirmation and to help keep you going towards your goals. So we hope that you'll go to our website, livewell-coaching.com, livewell-coaching.com, and that'll give you lots of information about LiveWell Coaching as well as our therapist. And hopefully we can be a resource to you guys to help you live this life that you've always wanted. So, all right, guys, I think we're good.
Yeah,
that's great.
Until next time, we hope you have a great day.
Hope you get some R&R.
Yes, please.